Alright, so when you open Blender, this is what you're going to see. You want to click off of it. You can see my button presses in the bottom right here, so if you get lost, just pay attention there. Shift click on both of these, press X to delete, edit preferences, and search up auto mirror. Make sure the check mark's checked, and then you can close that out. Then click on this cube, press S to scale it up a bit, SX to scale along the x-axis, SY to scale along the y-axis. Then you can press tab to go into edit mode, and we'll do Control R to add loop cuts, and you can scroll up. I want to make sure that there's one in the middle. Press left click and right click. And then we'll do Control R again and do the sideways bricks. But I don't like that because it's a grid, so we'll press Control Z to restart. To undo. And there's more bricks there. And then what you want to do, press tab to go into object mode. Press N to bring out this little side menu and go to edit and auto mirror. Make sure the X is selected, press auto mirror, then make sure the Y is selected and press auto mirror again. You can press N to get rid of that. Now when you go into tab, you can see it's like this. Now you can select these faces, make sure you get the middle one here. We can extrude it upwards. Actually, Control Z, undo that. Before we do that, we want to add another loop cut. And hold left click, and then you can choose where to do it. I'll do it right there. That way, we can select these faces and extrude them up. And we have the middle area there. You can even, if you want to, Control R, add another loop cut closer, and select all of these faces and bring them up just a little bit more, like that. And then what we want to do now is just select a few faces here and there. Make sure that they're not right next to each other, but we can do something like that. We want to extrude them out a bit with E. That's good. You want to click Inset Faces here, or you can do Shift Spacebar I. You want to inset them a little bit, and then press G, X, scale them along the x-axis a bit. But you can see this one in the middle kind of messed up. So what you want to do, you want to select the face, press G and Y, and then go along the y-axis. You see, it got better there. And we got the bricks there, and we'll do the same thing again. Select a few faces. But this time, press E and make them go inwards a little bit. Then grab this, make it go down a bit, and G, X, out a bit. And there we go. And then same thing with this again. We'll just go G, Y, and join them together. And then there we go, we got a little castle wall. So in the top right here, you want to double click there and do wall. And while we're up there, we'll rename this collection to castle parts. And then we can start and make a doorway. So you want to click on this Shift D so that we duplicate it. And then you want to hide the original wall and rename this to doorway or gate. I'll do gate. Now we got this. And then do Shift A, mesh, cylinder. And you can hide this gate for the time being. And in the bottom left here, click here and you can see the vertices. I don't know why that showed back up again. Okay, whatever. So I'll go with, set it to 12 vertices. And then what we can do, grab this R, Y to rotate, and then type in 90. And then G, Z. Yeah, that looks about good. So we'll hide this gate. We'll go into edit mode. Turn on X-ray in the top here. You want to select, press 2 to go to edge select. And then we can press numpad 3. Or actually, we go to vertice select. Select those and then press X and delete vertices. And then we go to edge select. Press Alt to select those. And then press F. And then do the same thing. And then we do Alt to select that loop and press F. And we can turn off X-ray mode. And then in face select, select this face, and we can extrude it down. It doesn't matter how far you go down. You just want to go a long way down. And then we want to make sure that it's scaled big enough along the x-axis. Alright, so we want to grab our cylinder now, or our gate, and we can put it to where we want our door. We'll do it like that. Make sure that it goes on all the way through and all the way down. And then we select our gate here. And we want to apply these mirror modifiers. If we press tab now, it's a full mesh. Then add another modifier just in the gear section here, or in the wrench section, and do Boolean, a little eyedropper, and select the cylinder, and then click apply, and then we can just press X to delete that, and now we have this nice cutout there. And then to make things easier later on, select it and press N and add back those mirrors the same way we did at the start. You see there's the mirrors there. Now we have this mesh again. Press N to hide that. And we can hide the gate as well. Now we're going to go on to making a tower. So Shift A, mesh, and cylinder. Then I'd say do 14 vertices. You'll see why later. And then we can scale it up along the z-axis, how tall we want it for now. And then we tab into object, or into edit mode, do Control R for the loop cut and add in our bricks like that. And then at the top, press 3 or click up here to go to face select. And we want to do inset face on the left here. So we can inset this face there. And then we can hold shift to select faces skipping every other one. And that's why we did 14. So that it works out well. We E to extrude them up. And then we can press S to scale them in or out a bit to add a little bit of difference to them. Make it look a little bit nicer. And then we're going to even come up here and do individual origins to scale them in on their own like that. Go back up to median point. And then we want to go to object mode and add in our mirror modifiers the same way. Why did that cut off? Add a Y modifier first and then an X? No. Okay, so just add a Y mod. We will just add a mirror on the Y axis. You can press tab. Oh, I see, okay. Alright, yeah. So just add it in the Y axis. And press N to get rid of that. And then we can do the same thing that we did on the other parts. We can select a bunch of faces. Here you get some on the edges. You can do however many or how few you want. And then this time, you want to come here, hold left click on here, and do extrude individual. And then grab this little arm and extrude them. And then we want to come up here and do individual origins and inset faces to inset each of the faces. And then G. Then we want to go press numpad 7. And we press G. And we can just move them out ever so slightly. It'll look a little wonky. That's alright. If you really want it, you can come individually, move them back. And then for these ones, G on the Y axis, move them together like that. There we go. And then, or actually, yeah, that's done. There you go. Press tab to go into object mode. Rename this to tower. And if we show all of them, there we go. Now, we want to do, press on the tower, press tab. We want to, go into object mode and apply the mirror modifier. And then we want to select this line and then Shift S and cursor to selected, and press tab, and then right click and set origin to 3D cursor. And you'll see why in a bit. And we want to do the same thing with the other pieces as well. So we come, select this, go edit mode, and then actually no, we want to go to object mode and apply these modifiers. Then we can go to edit mode, and this time we'll select these vertices because they're in the middle. So we'll select those two vertices, and then Shift S, cursor to selected, object mode, set origin, origin to 3D cursor, and then finally we'll do the wall, apply the modifiers, whoops, apply them, tab, and we'll just select this vertice, Shift S, cursor to selected, object mode, right click, set origin, origin to 3D cursor. And there we go. Now go Shift S and cursor to world origin. Can select all of these, Shift S, selection to cursor, and they'll all be aligned properly. What we want to do is we want to scale this up to however much we want. Alright, now what we're going to do is we're going to go model them. So you want to go open Chrome and do pixel palette, and you want to select the lost peck here, and select it, and then you can find whatever palette you want. I think this one will do well. You want to do download palette file, PNG 1x. Then it'll open this, and you right click and do save as, and you can save it to wherever you want. Just make sure that you know where it is. And click save file. Then we go back to Blender. We want to go to the shading tab, and we'll do the wall first. So we select this, and here we want to open wherever we saved our palette to, and we just drag it into there, and then we connect this little yellow dot, the color, to the base color, and it'll show up weird. You want to change linear to closest, and then we'll expand this view and click open image, or we actually want to click this little picture icon here and open up that. Make sure that you're in UV editor in the top left here. Then we select here and press tab to go into object mode, and click these little UV sync selection buttons, and then you press A to select all, and then scale it down as far as you can. And then you want to drag these to whatever our base color is going to be. I think I'm going to do a weird looking castle, make it sort of grayish, green, blue. Now, you can see we have the base color here. And then we can go to face select and select every one of these faces in our bricks that are sticking out. Depending on how many bricks you did, this might take a little bit, because you got to do both sides. And there we go. And now, on here, we press G, and we'll make them a shade brighter. Makes them stick out a lot more. And we'll do face select, select these loops, right, because you won't see the sides here. And we'll make a pathway. I'll make mine this red color. Trying to make sort of a fairy tale like castle. And then we want to press 7 so that we're at the top view and select everything on this side and this side, and you see it selects just some of the tops, and we'll use that to move to an even lighter shade to make it look like there's a shadow or a sun. Then we'll do Control 7 to get the bottom. And this time we'll select everything. And then we'll move to a darker shade. And then there we go. And if you want to get really fancy, what you can do, move this and do Shift A, texture, noise texture, and put this FAC into the subsurface color. Or no, we want to put the color into the subsurface color. And then turn up the subsurface here. And you can see it gets all weird here. We'll turn that up and then scale it down till it looks nice. And then we can turn the subsurface down. Not to 0, but almost. You see that adds just a little bit extra to it. And what we can do, we turn the roughness up almost all the way. And the roughness of this down. And if you have a darker one, then you would want to do the FAC into the subsurface color. Because that way you don't get any color. Like if we turn the subsurface all the way up, it's just black and white. But because I have a more colorful one, I kind of want those colors. So we'll do that. And then, yeah, that's done. And we can go on to the other ones. So we'll hide that, go into object mode with tab, and we'll do the gate next. And we can actually use the same texture. we just need to open up the picture again. Make sure we're in UV editor, then go into edit mode. Select them all and scale them all down. Whatever your base color is. I believe that was the right one. I went too dark. So I'll select them all, move it lighter, and we do the same thing again. Make sure you're on face select. Select all of the faces. And then once you have all of the faces selected, make sure it's just those selected. You can select that material again, and then move those faces to a lighter one, just like that. We'll do our Alt to select those, move them to a nice red or a brown if you're doing wood. Then press 7. I want to select that half and that half. Them to a lighter shade. Control 7. Select everything there. You might have to go in and select these side ones because we want those as well. Them to a darker shade. And if you want these to be even darker, select them individually and move them to an even darker shade. There we go. Get that one done. And now we just do the same thing again, but with the tower. Add the material. Like that. Go into edit mode, A, and then start scaling it down. Scale it down till they're all the same, until it's just a dot. Move it to the right one. And then you want to go around and start selecting all of these. I messed up here a bit, but you guys know how to fix that. And once you have all of them selected, go to a lighter color. Select these top faces. Go to your color of choice. Now I'll do it brighter there. Press 7 on our numpad. Select all of those. We'll have to recolor those, but that's no big deal. Or actually, and then we shift click on those. And then we can make these a brighter color. Control 7. Select all of that. Go to a darker color. There we go. Now, if we go back to layout and viewport shading here, go to material preview. It'll show the material preview. You see I got the tower a bit darker, but that's just because I selected a different color. And I think it looks pretty good. So now I want to make a new collection. Right click, new collection. Name this castle. And then you want to select the gate, Shift D, right click and move that to there. Shift D, move it to there, and Shift D, move it to there. And we'll close down this one and then hide it. And we can begin to build our castle. So move this to there. Move the wall further back. And then Shift D, Y, move it along there. Shift D, R, Z, 90. Oh, I accidentally had the tower selected there. That back there. Shift D, R, Z, 90. Put it 90 degrees. Scale it along, or move it along there. G, Y, G, X. Shift D, Y. The x-axis, and we select both of these, Shift D, X. There. And you can, it doesn't have to be a, you don't have to make it just a square, you can make it any shape you want. There you go. And I'll show you guys how to add some more stuff to it if you want, but it's not necessary. So now, what we're going to do, we're going to add a little metal gate to here. So what we want to do, we want to go press Control 3, or we just do 3. I will hide everything but this gate. Add a plane, rotate it on the y-axis 90 degrees. Go to 3, and I will go into edit mode and turn on X-ray so I can look through here. Select both of these, or no, select both of the bottom ones. Right click or press M and then merge at center. And what we can do is we can Control R, scale up. That way we have 2. Go into object mode and scale it all down. Now on it, go back into edit mode. Select this and extrude along the Z axis. Here we go, a nice amount. Then, here's where the cool part comes. We do Control R, do that, scale them on the Z axis, or on the, we're going to scale them on the we do Control R to add a loop cut. We'll add a loop cut. Or, whoop. Okay. We'll do Control R to add a loop cut. Do it there. And then we can change here. Why won't that work? Because I have it set to individual origins. Switch this to median point, and then press Z. There we go. We'll scale it there, and then move that there. And then we'll do the same thing. Go up, S, Z, scale it to around the same size. When we have that, what we'll do, we'll select both of these, go E and then Y. We'll do about that much, E and Y. Whoops. E and Y. We'll do about the same. Then here we go, we have this. What we want to do, we'll select all of it, and then extrude out a bit, like that. And then we can go into object mode and scale this down and add a modifier at the wrench here, an array modifier. Switch it to constant offset and put the X to 0. And this is on the Y axis, so we want to increase the Y axis. Click merge so that they merge together. There we go. And then now we can just increase the count here. And move them up, scale them up a bit. We'll do that. We'll make them go like that much. Bring them so they're clipping into the side here. Then decrease the amount because we don't need all of them. If it doesn't look nice there, we can change the offset a bit lower, like that. And you see how it doesn't connect at the top here? What we can do, we turn off the gate, go back into edit mode, and we select this face, and we press G, and just bring it up. And when we turn back on the gate, you see it covers the top. So now we have a little gate there. We'll name this to bars. And make sure we're in edit mode or object mode. We'll duplicate this and just add it to here to make sure that we have all of the parts that we need in there. And that's about it. You can model other things or add them in, or you can just keep it as is. Yeah, we have a nice little castle here.